Let's go.
When real life happens,
Yeah.
got a golden rule. Stay true, stay focused on what's important. Oh, you can cover the gold in you. Find your gold.
Yes. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show, man. Welcome back to the Golden Rule podcast. I am your host, Mr. Ryan Hayes, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey man, what a wonderful day. What a wonderful week we've had of sports, man. I mean, it's been a kind of a busy week for me. My daughter just turned 2 on Friday of last week, man. So I've been kind of scrambling around. I apologize for not having at least multiple episodes during last week. But we're back, man, to kind of fill in the gaps and give you the latest on what's going on in the sports world, man. So we're gonna get right into it, man. We ain't gonna delay too much longer, man. Like I said, yo, shout out to my baby turning 2 years old, but we're gonna carry right along, man. Look, the latest and the greatest, man. Coach Prime continues to roll, man. Shout out to Coach Prime in the Colorado Listen, Coach Prime, the Colorado Buffaloes, man, they continue to impress, man. Now let's be clear. I really wasn't expecting what I seen on Saturday night against Colorado State when the Buffaloes took on Colorado State at home. I wasn't technically expecting it to be such a good game, but I mean, obviously, it puts the lights is on, the lights are the brightest. All eyes on Colorado. They are the talk of college football right now, man. So every game is like I don't know, the commentator before the game was saying like, hey, this is like a combination of the BET Awards. I mean, we got all kind of rappers, all kind of entertainers coming out to see Colorado played. I mean, I know that the Colorado Buffaloes have never been this notable or had this much notoriety. So this is crazy what Coach Prime is doing. He has the eyes of the college football world on him, and his personality, his persona is going to bring in more recruits. So I know he strikes fear in other coaches. So leading up to this game, before we get into like the stats and what went on, I mean, obviously the coach Jay Norvell for the Colorado State Rams, I believe that's their mascot. He came out and was saying like, the team has been interviewed a lot with ESPN and all the hype surrounding what's going on in Colorado, in Boulder, Colorado. That is, he basically saying like, look, man, his team was tired of it. Then he goes on record and says like, hey, when Coach Prime has the glasses, he got a sunglass line and he got the hat, and he's wearing that in these interviews. But I mean, basically Jay Norvell took a shot at him like, hey, I told people like when I'm a grown person, I'm talking to other adults, I come in and I take my sunglasses off and I take my hat off, and I speak to him because that's the way my mother taught me. So everybody took it as a shot. Obviously it was a direct shot at Prime because Coach Prime goes through his interviews and through his press conferences. He has his shades on and he got his hat on. Now, Coach Prime defense, he did respond and say, look, man, I get my day started early. I'm grinding all throughout the day, through day and night. And by the time he gets to those press conferences, he's tired and his eyes are looking saggy and baggy. I mean, everybody knows what it looks like when you get in a lack of sleep. So I'm sure Coach Prime ain't, sleeping a whole lot, man. He's got a lot on his plate. He's trying to keep this program rolling. So when he gets to these press conferences, he got his shades on, he got his hat on, man. It ain't to be no disrespect, and it sure ain't to have the fact that he's raised wrong. So it was just a shot. Like I said, it was just one of those things. I personally didn't know Jay Norvell was black. I mean, I learned that after the fact. I mean, I didn't know he was an African American male, but he was just taking another shot. So, I mean, it wasn't racial motivated, but I think he was just trying to say, like, Coach Prime is classless by keeping his glasses on. But in spite of all that, Coach Prime got a new sunglass deal from a place called Blinders, I believe it is. I think the name of the company is Blinders or Blenders. And they sold $1.2 million worth of shades in one day from him announcing the start of his line. So basically, it was free promotion, man. Free promo is always good, man. If they talking about you good or bad, it's free promo. So Coach Prime took that in stride. Now, on to the game, man. It was a hard fought game. I mean, I watched every bit of it. It was a hard fought game, man. Let's just say I wasn't expecting the 43-35 outcome. I mean, it was tough. throughout the game. Shador Sanders had a great game. I mean, it was a double overtime victory. He threw for 38 for 47 passes, so he completed just under 10. I mean, he missed only 9 passes on the whole day, 348 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception that was actually a drop pass that landed into the defender's arm. So I can't really give him too much of a slight on that interception he threw because it was on target, hit the guy in the hands, he dropped it, and the other guy was right there to grab it. So, like I said, Shador's been balling. He's the top 5 in Heisman running right now. Their other Heisman candidate was knocked out of the game on a dirty play. I really wish I could show you guys that clip, but I mean, look up the guy. Henry Blackburn was the defensive back, number 11 for the Colorado State Rams, and he knocked out Travis Hunter on a dirty play that went over his head. It was basically like one of those plays where the play is over, the ball's already passed and out of reach. It can't be contacted. Nobody can catch the ball. It's uncatchable, and it's already hit the ground at this point. And Henry Blackburn goes and takes a shot at Travis Hunter, knocking off hit him in his rib area. The diagnosis, I believe, was a laceration to the liver. So it's not too serious, but it could have them out for a few weeks. And we do know Colorado goes into the toughest part of their schedule coming up. I mean, they got Oregon next week on Saturday, and then right after that, they face Caleb Williams, a Heisman winner and Heisman candidate this year. They face him, so they got 2 back-to-back games that they're probably not gonna have their best two-way player, their best player on the team. Probably, I mean, you can say Shador Sanders, but he's one position and that's it. So you're looking at losing a wide receiver, your starting wide receiver, and your starting star cornerback for the next 2 games, which is going to be much needed. It was just no place for the hit, no place for the interaction whatsoever. I do appreciate Shador Sanders going to Henry Blackburn after that play, and he got in his face, man. Shador got some dog in him, man. I mean, I don't know if it's just coming from his daddy, but he do take pride in everything being a part of his bloodline. So I got to give him much respect, man. Much credit to Shador Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes for pulling out that win. I mean, a double overtime. They were down 11 points with 7 minutes left, and somehow or another they were able to get that last touchdown. They had to drive the field down 8 points. They had to drive the field 98 yards. And the last catch, the game time touchdown, was on Henry Blackburn. So that's how karma worked. Jimmy Horn caught the pass. It was about a 45-yard catch and run, and he scored the game time touchdown. But they also had to get the 2-point conversion to tie it up. So it was amazing, man. I mean, I think they found something in the tight end that they've been targeting. So we might look forward to the offense continue to roll, but without having Travis Hunter, we're just gonna have to keep our eyes on it. Literally, I mean, because like I said, you losing a player of that caliber, that's going to be tough to bounce back from. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can go into Oregon, because the game is in Eugene. So it's in Oregon. That's a tough crowd. We're going to see how they respond to it, man, but especially without their top players. So that's going to be tough, man. I mean, like I said, Colorado continues to roll. Lil Wayne performed before the game. You got guys like Offset from the Migos out there. You got all kind of entertainers, star players that used to play. Of course, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith coming out. Michael Irvin's on sidelines. I mean, it's a spectacular thing to see, man, and I'm loving it, man. Congratulations to the Buffaloes, man. I hope you guys continue to, have success. Moving right along, let me get to my Buckeyes. Now, there wasn't a whole lot of notable college football games. There were some, basically gimmies. There wasn't a lot. There was no ranked versus ranked opponents playing this week. So it was kind of a light week. I mean, this is what, week 4 or week 3 or 4 in college football. So it was a pretty dull week. But like I said, my Buckeyes were back, man. We looked like we got our stuff together. I was going to say another word, but it looked like we got our stuff together. Oh, excuse me. Look like we got our stuff together, man. Buckeyes win 63-10. That's our first time that our offense really got the clicking. So, shout out to the Buckeyes. We like the fact that Marvin Harrison scored a touchdown, 5 catches, 126 yards in the touchdown. My man Mbuka, he scored 2 touchdowns. And also Cade Stover, the tight end, he did well this week. I think he had about 90 yards total offense. So we just looking real good, man. The Buckeyes looked like they were clicking. I wasn't really worried about the defense. I was worried about Kyle McCord and that offense, because we had this little quarterback battle with Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. But McCord looked like he's taking the throne, and it's going to be his team this year. So he did have 19 for 23 passing, 318 yards, and 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. So we can live with that. We can live with that. Next week will be a real test for us because we take on number 9 Notre Dame. We are number 6 team right now in the country, so that'll be a big game to watch. Number 9 versus number 6, or number 6 versus number 9, however you look at it. But I'm going for my Buckeyes, man. So we looking to get into that. One other notable victory would be the Florida beating Tennessee. Tennessee was ranked number 11, and Florida went in and just beat them, man. They did their thing. They did what they had to do. Florida was, of course, unranked. Travis Etienne is a running back who went to Clemson, and he plays with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville Jaguars, but his younger brother plays for Florida. I think his name is Trevor Etienne. Yeah, Trevor Etienne. He had a great game. I mean, it was fun to watch just to see a ranked opponent going down to an unranked. That's always a good thing to see. I mean, I don't root for ranked opponents to lose, but at the same time, it creates parity. So it makes it exciting to see, like, hey, if a ranked opponent gets dropped by somebody that's unranked, I mean, obviously that creates a lot of parity in football. So moving along from that, we look forward to next week's games in college. This week was, like I said, a pretty slow week. Everybody really took care of business. I did see Florida State against Boston College. That looked like they should have really lost that game. But I mean, hey, they held on to win. I know the committee's been dropping Ohio State for not winning by 40 points. So I will look forward to seeing what the committee does with Florida State. They ranked number 3, and they kind of barely edged by Boston College with like a 2-point victory. I think it was 31-29 or something like that. I just feel like the committee needs to be consistent, man. Consistency was one of my golden rules of the day. And if you're going to drop Ohio State for not scoring 40 points on people like that, then you got to do something with Florida State. But anyway, we'll carry right along, man. Let's get into the NFL. Now, the NFL recap was crazy. So last time I spoke with you guys, I was looking forward to Monday Night Football. I was looking forward to Aaron Rodgers versus the Buffalo Bills. Looking forward to Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers. And 4 plays into the first drive of Aaron Rodgers' career in New York, the New York Jets, he's out for the season with an Achilles tear, man. So that kind of, put a big damper on things for the Jets, man. The Jets had so much potential. They got like the number 5. They got a top 5 defense. I'm not gonna say where they rank because Dallas Cowboys defense looks phenomenal. They could be number 1 with Michael Parsons leading the way. But also, just looking at it, the Jets have a formidable defense. They have great defensive talent. The offense has some good pieces as well. I mean, but for whatever reason, without Aaron Rodgers and putting Zach Wilson behind everybody behind the line, it doesn't look good, man. Yesterday, Zach Wilson threw like 3 picks, had 3 turnovers, and it just wasn't good all the way through. They did play the Dallas Cowboys, so like I said, with that defense that Dallas has, I mean, I guess we can give them a little break. It wasn't like a blowout, like it was 30-10. The Jets did have opportunities that they just didn't capitalize on. So we'll keep our eyes on the Jets and see if they make a quarterback change or possibly try to get someone else or make a trade. Because I mean, obviously, I don't think Zach Wilson is the guy, so. And I don't think that's going to go over well in the locker room because the locker room has so much excitement. They were in Hard Knocks on HBO Max. I'm not sure if you guys have that, but they were on Hard Knocks this offseason. It was so much excitement going into the year. And then it's just like somebody just took a pen and popped the air out of their balloon whenever Aaron Rodgers went down after 4 plays. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Also, notably, this week in the NFL, the Ravens beat the Bengals, which that was pretty impressive. I'm not sure what's going on with what's my man, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow and that offense is supposed to be a little better than what they've been performing as. I mean, I do give much respect to Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Obviously, Lamar Jackson got paid this summer. I mean, we're looking for him to do more impressive things. It looks like Odell Beckham Jr. is battling an ankle injury now. He's always hurt for whatever reason. He got something going on all the time. So he's kind of unreliable at this point. So, and then on top of him being unreliable, they also lost J.K. Dobbins last week. So it's just looking bad. I mean, I'm not sure how long they can sustain. I know Zay Flowers been performing pretty decent for him. So we just keep our eyes on Lamar and see if he can continue this, this little run. They are 2-0 at this point. So we'll keep our eyes on them, man. Hopefully they can continue to go. Also the Chiefs and Jaguars. Now with the Chiefs, Travis Kelsey did return from injury, and Chris Jones signed a 1-year contract for 25 million. So he's also back, and he made his impact and his presence felt on the field. You can see it clear as day. I mean, he was disrupting. He was QB pressures, putting pressures on offensive line to make them have to double team him, and you can just see the impact he has on the field. So lucky for them that they got that done, man. I'm sure they really needed that win. And they got it, man. They got it. So the Chiefs are back on the 1-1 tear. Another notable, it was two overtime games that happened at the same time. Tennessee versus the Chargers was major. Now, Chargers is supposed to be way better than they're putting on, man. They're supposed to have a top 5 quarterback in Justin Herbert. He's supposed to be somebody to watch, and he hadn't performed as well as people would like him to. He's lost 2 games. Obviously, they're 0-2 now. He hadn't really performed, man. And then on top of that, the Seahawks beat the Lions. That was impressive as well. Both of those games went in overtime. They both were lost on that. Moving right along, the Giants came back. They were the Giants. They got beat 40-0 last week, right? They started this game 0-20. So basically, the Cardinals were up 20-0. So they had put 60. They basically started the NFL season 0-60 on points, meaning like the opponent scored 60 total points and they had 0. They came out in the second half with fire. I'm not sure what Brian Daboll said in the locker room at halftime, but he got them fired up, man, and they were going at it. And Danny Dimes was out there running the ball, throwing the ball. He didn't miss on too many passes in the second half. And they fought all the way back from being down 20-0 to win the game 31-28. So that was major. I mean, that was major. They won on the last minute field goal, but that was still like, man, it was impressive to see a team being down 20-0 and then turning it up like they did in the second half. And I wouldn't recommend that, but at the same time, it was pretty impressive. Of course, I just told you about the Cowboys' dominance. I mean, they look very good so far, already scored 70 points. Dak Prescott is no stranger to leading the NFL in total offense. He's done it before in his career, and he looked like he on path to do it again. They look good, man. I mean, but, the defense is really the forefront for everything that happens in Dallas, man. Michael Parsons is obviously he's on track already to be Defensive Player of the Year. It's so much talk around him with the Lawrence Taylor situation. Everybody's saying there hasn't been a disruptor like him since Lawrence Taylor. I don't know about all that, but I do know this guy. You can move him around anywhere. You can put him back at linebacker. You can put him on the line defensive end. You can move him inside. Wherever he's at, Michael Parsons is a problem. So definitely got to show him respect, and he's on the scouting report no matter what. You definitely looking for a guy like that and trying to figure out where he's going to be at, and you're going to have to double team him because he coming with full force, and he got some speed too. So he did finish the game with, I believe, a sack, tackle for loss, and a forced fumble. So it's all, Michael Parsons. It's about him. It starts with him on that defense. And then, of course, you got on the back end Trayvon Diggs. So they look pretty good, man. We just gonna keep our eyes on that. Last night's game with the Dolphins and the Patriots was a very good game. Tua looks good, like I said. Tua has been showing so much improvement throughout these last couple years. I mean, I really do think he's gonna be a great quarterback. The Patriots did fight back to get within. They had a 4th down conversion where the tight end Mike Gesicki, who used to play for the Dolphins, now plays for the Patriots. He caught the ball and then he tried to lateral it back and then the offensive lineman caught the ball. It looked to me like that was a 1st down conversion, but they went to the replay and the review, and they basically said, hey, he didn't get the line of game on 4th down, so the game was basically over in that moment. But it looked like Mac Jones was about to lead them back to have some kind of comeback victory, or at least some kind of tie game to go into overtime. But unfortunately, they failed. That game ended 24-17. So, the last notable mention would be 49ers, man, they look good. We're going to keep our eyes on them. Christian McCaffrey, I hate we had to let him go from the Panthers. They look good, man. The 49ers look good, so definitely keeping our eyes on them. Tonight, for the NFL wrap-up, there is 2 Monday Night Football games tonight. There will be the Panthers take on the Saints tonight. I believe it's in Carolina. And also the Browns take on the Steelers. So it'll be 2 different games, basically simultaneously. I know the Carolina game comes on a little earlier. Starts at 6:15 Central Time, so it'll be 7:15 Eastern. And then the next game, the Browns versus Steelers, will start at 8:15 Eastern. So we'll just keep our eyes on that, man. More NFL to come, 2 Monday night football games. So it's plenty to see, plenty to watch for. And let's just move right along, man. We're gonna move along to our last honorable mentions. Now, today, I don't have many honorable mentions. I only have one in particular, and that'll be Shakur Stevenson does have a fight. Now I know every other day is like, okay, we got to fight. We don't got to fight. We had the fight with Frank Martin. Frank Martin ducked out and was like, hey, I'm gonna try to get the fight with Javante Tank Davis. I don't think that's gonna happen, but maybe it does. I'm not sure. I just feel like Frank Martin ducked. Everybody in the boxing world felt like Frank Martin is ducking Shakur Stevenson, but he ain't the only one. So I'm not mad at that. I can't be mad at Frank Martin, and how I feel about what he did. I feel like that same thing is about 6 other people who ducked Shakur Stevenson at the 135 rank. But I'll let you guys hear a little bit about what Shakur feels in his moment. So let me just let y'all hear that.
Our fighters you want to fight right now? Be like, yo, what's like right now? I want to fight y'all.
Number one, Tank.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, number one, Tank. Me and Tank is the best fight. I think that's the fight. You could name 15 other fighters, but there's one fight that truthfully need to happen.
What's stopping that fight?
I don't know. I can't tell you.
Nobody knows.
I'm not Tank at the end of the day. I'm gonna be like real. I'm a real nigga. So I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I'm not Tank. He's the big star. He's the pay-per-view star. I can't throw no offers to Tank. I'm not. Who am I to throw an offer to the biggest star in boxing? What I'm offering him?
That's that Floyd Mayweather stuff.
So that would have to be on their part, on their team to want to do that. I want to do. I would love that fight. I think that's the best fight in boxing. If we speaking like skills wise, he's not gonna tell y'all that because however he be thinking, he think the way that he think. But me, truthfully, I think that's the best fight in boxing, and I want to prove to the world who I truly am.
Right. So shout out Shakur, man. I mean, like I said, I don't think Tank is gonna ever take that fight. They don't want no problem, man. I mean, he with that Floyd Mayweather, they doing what I call a Mayweather shuffle, and he gonna shuffle the board and look around and see who got a belt that's weak, and he gonna try to take that. But he definitely ain't trying to see nothing with Shakur Stevens. I don't know why nobody wants to fight him. I guess it's this Puerto Rican guy he's fighting on Thursday, November 16th. It'll be in Vegas. Now the fight on a Thursday, that let you know it ain't no real pay-per-view. I mean, come on, man. Everybody know all the big fights happen on the weekend. They normally happen on Saturdays, man. But he got a fight Thursday, November 16th in Vegas against Edwin De Los Santos. So never heard of the guy. Don't know much about him. I don't think it's going to be a contest whatsoever. But I mean, the guy got to eat. He got to fight. So he putting more film out, man. He going to get more film on him, and he going to get to see what he look like. Because I personally want to see this guy fight. I want to see Shakur fight, and I want to see him fight some of the best. He's asking for the best. He's begging to fight some of the best fighters in the game, and nobody wants that smoke, man. So that's just the way it is. Nobody really want that smoke, man. But that really is basically my honorable mention for the day, man. That's my biggest one I had. Like I said, more football coming on later tonight. We got the 2 Monday night football games. We're going to wrap up today's quick episode. It's just real short and sweet. We're going to wrap up the episode with my golden rule of the day. And the golden rule of today is code switching is fundamental and essential. Now, when I say code switching, that's a term used to be like, or some people may think like, oh, well, you're not being yourself. When you code switching, it's like you're a black person, but you're trying to act white or whatever the case may be. But it's really not. Code switching is fundamental, man, in the fact that you're not supposed to be who I am when I'm around my people or my family or my homeboys. I conduct myself different if I'm at work or at church or anything like that. And it's not that I'm being fake. It's more so being able to adapt in any room that you go into, man. That's essential. You don't want to be the same person everywhere you go and just consider that being real. Like, no, it's not about being real. It's more about being able to adapt in any room that you put into and being able to work the room. If you're able to work the room, that's code switching. That's able to be, be yourself, but also be, conduct yourself in such a manner in which you're accepted, and not just looking for acceptance, but I mean, it'll be about morals and respect and values. That's where all that stems from. So I feel like code switching is important. I got this thing from, if you really want to know how I got the code switching concept, will be like, we're at work and music is playing, and whatever music that people play on the speakers, that's on their business. But sometimes it's rap, sometimes it got cursing and everything in it. But then when 5 or 6 group of corporate members, like owners of the company or high level management, come through and they're walking through, and then I hear the song switches to something that's more acceptable, not necessarily a lot of cussing. It can be R&B. I think this particular song was like a pop song or whatever the case may be, but I do understand the mindset that went into that, because it's not like we're not gonna play Sexy Red and the Baby, in the midst of corporate people walking through, and we're not really supposed to be having this music playing that loud anyway. But the code switch happens whenever you recognize these people walking through, and then you change the music or you change the tone. It's the same way if you were to walk into a room or to be around people. If you're going to make corporate business moves and you got your shirt and tie on and you buttoned up tight, you don't want to be walking around sagging with your pants down, or carrying yourself in the level of just trying to be real or trying to be who you think is real. And when you need to be code switching, you need to be able to conduct yourself in every different type of atmosphere. Now, when you get around your homies and your partners or your girlfriends or whatever the case may be, then you can let loose and, let your hair down, so to say. But when you get around people that can put you in position, or people that are, get around these positions that where you're trying to elevate and level yourself up, then you need to carry yourself in that type of atmosphere, carry yourself in that type of manner to where you code switch, man. Code switching is essential. And I'm not telling you to be fake, but also telling you to learn the codes that to be able to switch, be able to adapt, be able to be a chameleon, and drop yourself in any room, and you can conduct yourself in a manner in which is to be accepted, man. And that's my golden rule of the day. Like I said, code switching is essential. And if you need more insight on code switching, please get in the comments, man, and I'll let you guys know how I feel further about it. But like I said, man, conducting yourself at church and at work and other different places around corporate, and you on a corporate level, then you need to carry yourself as such, man. You don't do the same things you would do on the streets as you would in those atmospheres. And that's my golden rule of the day. Code switching is essential, and it's fundamental, man. So with that, I'll leave you guys with that. And also we'll look forward to the sports coming further, man. And I appreciate your attendance, and we'll look forward to seeing you back at the Golden Rule podcast.
When real life happens, y'all. We got a golden rule. Stay true, stay focused on what's important. Oh, you can cover the gold in you. Find your gold.
Look, breaking news.